Hello, and welcome to Senior Code Buddy Review. My name is Chris, and today I'm going to talk about the importance of writing tests before fixing bugs. Now, when I say this, I don't mean you should ignore fixing any bugs in your codebase until you test everything. Instead, what I mean is that when you've been given a bug to fix, your first goal should be to write a test that triggers that bug. There are a few good reasons to start with the test. Once you've got the test, it's really simple to verify if your change to fix the issue works or not. You can just run the test and ensure it now passes instead of failing. By writing the test, you also ensure that you really understand what are the conditions causing this failure. This maybe isn't such a big deal for smaller bugs, but it can be really helpful when dealing with flaky or more complex bugs. It helps to ensure you really know what's going on. After the test is merged, you can rest assured that this exact issue won't happen again in the future. If someone changes the code in a way that would reintroduce this bug, the test you added should fail and let the developer know they need to fix their code. It's also important to ensure that the test you write is actually the bug that was reported, not just something that looked like it. Alright, let's go over to our first example. So, here we start with a classic, a Fibonacci function. This is a slow way to generate Fibonacci numbers, but it'll work for this example. Let's assume that I've just landed this code and then someone contacted me to let me know it didn't work. It's crashing. So let's run the code. Yep, it crashes because we reach the maximum recursion depth. A quick look at this code and I know what the problem is. I forgot to add my base case. So let's quickly add my base case. If n equals 0, return 0. Now, I merged this without running it because maybe I only have an editor, and I'm 100% sure that this is going to fix the issue. But it doesn't fix this issue. It still fails because I need two base cases. I also need if n equals 1, return 1. Now it runs. So this time, I take a little bit more time and I add this test to my PR to ensure that Fibonacci slow 5 equals 5. The big issue here wasn't the complexity of the code or the complexity of the fix. It was that I had assumed I had figured it out right away and didn't take a moment to verify my belief. I was right in that the issue was a missing base case, but it was two base cases, not one. While this example might seem too basic, since it would be fairly simple to run the code and verify, this is still a pattern I've seen happen when people are rushing or super sure they absolutely know what the issue is in the fix. And the code sometimes isn't much more complex than this example. Let's move on to a more complex example now, though. Okay. So we've got a function here that is taking a list of sales and determining how much commission each salesperson has earned. We get the data from an input string, in this example, string IO, but probably a text file in production. On each line, we have the sale total, the commission percentage, and the salesperson's name. After we've merged this code, we get a report of an exception in production. Type error, can't multiply sequence of int by type string. And if we run it here, yep, we get the same error. And looking at the code, we realize the problem is that we are splitting a string, which means that sale and commission percentage are both going to be strings, but they should be floats. Okay, easy fix. Let's just cast them to floats like they should be. So sale equals float, sale, and commission percentage equals float commission percentage. And we run it, and it works. And we've got a test that we wrote, so it's all good. We land this change. And then someone reaches out again to let us know that the code is still broken in production, but with a different error. Value error could not convert string to float, Steve. Now I go and look at production and realize that I've messed up my order here. The sales book isn't sale, commission percentage, salesperson. The salesperson is actually listed first. So there were actually two errors in my initial function, failing to convert the strings to float and having the wrong order. And here, while I did correctly fix one, I missed the other. And as I showed here, this can happen even if you've written a test, because the test I wrote wasn't an accurate test. I misassumed how this data was coming. I'd seen the bug report and thought, yep, oh, I'm forgetting to cast these strings to floats. That's exactly what it is. So what actually we should be doing here is fixing our test to be correct. Strings are supposed to be first. We run, we get the failure, and we get the error that was happening in production. And we know that the fix is salesperson actually supposed to be first. And there we go. We can now land this, and it will work in production. Thanks for walking through that with me today. If you've enjoyed this, please consider hitting the like button below or subscribing. And if you have any comments, code you'd like me to review, or ideas you'd like me to talk about, please leave a link in the comments below, or reach me at chris@seniorcodereviewbuddy.com. Thanks, and have a great day.